Hi again, this is Dom Camardella. We're at Santa Barbara Sound Design, and a little over a year ago, when we first installed the Neve 5088, I did a video promotion piece for the website to explain to all y'all how my approach to recording and mixing now in 2010 and beyond. Since that period of time, in the last 18 months, we've finally completed the implementation of our system here at Santa Barbara Sound Design, and the 5088 now has been completed in the sense that our custom machine work, where a couple of really important pieces, analog pieces to my process, have been mounted in the penthouse, and in addition, I managed to find and customize a Neve flying fader system that is about a 10-year-old system, and it's been adapted and customized to the 5088. If you remember, I was talking about in summing mixing, in hybrid mixing, I break stems out of Pro Tools in stereo pairs, and I would bring them across the board. And before the flying faders, it was essential that I do all my automation moves in the digital domain. I could do some analog inserts with Pro Tools, but for the most part, all the moves would have to be done in the digital domain. Well, one of the things that I wanted to recreate was where I was when I had my vintage Neve board, which unfortunately had become a maintenance headache. I replaced that, and now we have the modern Neve 5088. Needless to say, in the 18 months, I've had no maintenance issues whatsoever. And sonically, I've learned a lot. I can now manipulate the sound that comes through the mix system by how and what I put before the mix architecture of the 5088. At this studio, I have a collection of vintage Neve modules, 80 series modules, 1081s, 1084s, 1064s. And when I want to recreate the sound of my old vintage Neve, I actually pass line level signals through those modules, and I put that ahead of the 5088 architecture. I continue to use the stems approach, and where most of our different components coming through the board are in stereo pairs. I do some automation, some plugins in the digital domain. But what I find now with the flying faders is that I'm back to a situation that during the final stage of mixing, I have something I can touch and grab, and the flying faders memorizes the subtle performance aspect of a mix, which one of the problems with working strictly inside the workstation is that visceral, I want to grab this particular soloist, I want to have the drums maybe creep up a little behind the soloist, or do an additional subtle tweak to the automation that is done in the digital domain, which is somewhat laborious comparatively. Of course, if I had a work surface, which I do have a small one here, if I had a larger work surface, that I could make some of those moves in the digital domain with that work surface. But I find that most of my work in the digital domain, I tend to draw in the automation, and in fact can predict the automation needs just from looking visually at what's going on in the files. And then I rely on the flying faders to give me that performance aspect of a mix. It's really a wonderful solution. And in the last 18 months, I am happier today than ever in the changes that I've done to my control room here at Santa Barbara Sound.